welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley for those of you who are new here. So today's video is going to be a what's for dinner with a very special theme. As you all know, Valentine's Day is coming up this Sunday. So I decided to do a full week of date night meals. Just because I've seen so many people. Sorry, I have a candle behind me. I'm not trying to back up too much now. I have seen a few people asking, like, what is everybody making for Valentine's Day? So I decided to do a full week of what's for dinner based on, like, date night meal ideas. So it's not just for Valentine's Day. If anybody doesn't celebrate Valentine's Day, it's great ideas just for, you know, any date night meals. They're also kid-friendly, so if you can't get rid of the kids, your kids may just eat some of these meals depending on how picky they are or aren't. So there's always that. So the purpose of me doing an entire week rather than just like one meal here, like I was initially planning on doing. For those of you who don't know, we got into like a severe car accident a couple of weeks ago. It was really, really bad. We almost died. No joke. There's actually going to be like a vlog series coming up on my channel about all of that for anybody who's interested in the story and what happened. So being as that I was driving when that happened and I crashed a brand new Mercedes. We've only had it for like 3 months because we traded in our other car. But yeah, brand new Mercedes. I crashed it, so I have a lot of kissing up to do. So yeah, that's why we did a full week of you know, loving meals. So yes, within this video there's like literally a date night for any type of couple. Whether you are foodies, whether you love the beach, like there's one that's Red Lobster themed. Whether you guys just like steak and potatoes, there's nothing wrong with that. Believe me, I love steak and potatoes. Whether you're vegetarian too. So there's something for everybody in this video. I hope you guys find some inspiration in it. And you can make something so delicious, and yeah, because we don't go to restaurants for Valentine's Day. It's like one of the worst times ever to choose to go to a restaurant. Everything is always packed, and delivery fees are like sky high on Valentine's Day. It's just, everything is just so ridiculous Valentine's Day. So that's why we stay home and we cook, and yeah, so there's something for everybody in this video. So anyways, let's get into this week's What's for Dinner. Hello everybody, it is Foodie Lovers Night. So the foodie couple is usually a couple that's always exploring their neighborhoods, local restaurants, rather than eating at stuff like Applebee's and Chili's and stuff. So they like craft type hipster menus. So I know this because we are we are a foodie couple. So what I'm going to be making today is pepper jack and bacon stuffed burgers. So I have an 85-15 blend of grass-fed beef. I got some brioche buns because you can't just use regular. I have bacon bits just because I don't really feel like waiting on actual bacon to like crisp up to put in the burgers, so this is just like a cute little cheat way to put the bacon in your burgers. I also have some bacon out because I'm going to cook up some bacon to put on top of the burgers when they're done cooking. This is the pepper jack cheese that I'm going to be using. It's in stick form. I ordered it as whole block, but they didn't have it. They had these, so I was like, that's fine. Then I'm going to be sauteing some mushrooms and some onion for the top of the burger as well. I'm going to be serving these with some gravy fries. So these are seasoned fries that I have left over. It's a little bit less than half a bag, but it's fine. I have some Swiss and Gruyere cheese. This should be enough to top it. If not, I will be putting some pepper jack cheese anyways, just to carry the theme of the pepper jack throughout the entirety of the meal. And then I have some beef bouillon cubes, so I'm going to be making my own gravy for the top of the fries, and then some butter to toast the buns. So I'm going to go ahead and get this mixed up together. I'm going to throw the fries in the air fryer really quick while I'm mixing together the beef, the bacon, and the pepper jack, I'm going to chop up the onion, get that on, and I'll show you guys how it's looking while I go. Okay everybody, so I have my ground beef in a bowl. I chopped up the pepper jack, and I forgot that I had some jalapenos in the fridge that I wanted to do something with, so I figured this would be super great to do it with. So I just deveined them, and if that's what you call it, is that like deveining? Well, I de-seeded them, I know that much. So that's chopped up, that's gonna go in the burger meat. So I'm just gonna show you guys how I season my burgers. So this is starting off with just a little bit of seasoned salt. And then I'm also gonna be using some seasoned pepper. I'm also going to be putting some of this mesquite seasoning since they're not going on the grill. I do want that grilled flavor. So not a whole bunch. That should be good. And then I use some garlic powder. And then some onion powder. Alright, and then I'm just going to put my jalapenos in there. As well as the pepper jack cheese. And I'm just going to get a spoon to mix it all up. Okay, so I have my ground beef all mixed up. I'm going to just get chunks of this, roll it up, and put it on this plate. It's just a paper plate. It's going to go in the freezer just to stiffen up because you don't want all that cheese falling out while it's cooking. You want it to just melt within the meat. Okay everybody, so I completely forgot that I was putting bacon in these, so I pulled them out of the freezer, poured the bacon in, re-rolled them, and yeah, so now there's bacon in there too. Okay everybody, so in a pot I basically have some melted butter and a tablespoon of flour. This is going to be the base of my gravy. I use this pot to cook up the mushrooms and onions, so it just gives a little bit of extra flavor to the gravy when you melt the butter over top of that. And then once that's all kind of melted together, I'm gonna add my bouillon cube and some water and a couple of other seasonings. Okay, so I added some water, I added my beef cube, I put in some onion pepper, some garlic, some onion pepper? Did I say onion pepper? Ew. Okay, so I added in some onion powder, some garlic powder, and a little bit of black pepper. I mixed it up, and I'm just going to let it sit until it starts boiling up, and then that'll help it thicken because of the flour in there. Okay, so my fries are done in the air fryer, so I'm going to go ahead and get these assembled to show you guys how they look. Basically, you just transfer them to any baking dish or even a cookie sheet. And then you top it with the gravy and the cheese, and then you bake it up till the cheese melts. So I'll just show you guys how that looks. Okay, y'all, so this is how it's looking. I'm just gonna pop this in the broiler until the cheese melts, which should be about like 5 to 7 minutes. Now that my burgers are almost done, my fries are almost done, I just have to throw, well, I guess the fries are done. I just have to throw together a sauce for the burgers and toast my buns. So I'll show you guys how I make my burger sauce. Dinner is all done. We have our burger. I topped the bread with the sauce literally on both sides, just a little bit on both sides. And then I layered the burger and then bacon and then the sauteed onions and mushrooms and then just a piece of tomato. We have our gravy fries and then we also have some Clausen pickles, the best pickles. It's the only pickles my husband will eat. Same with me. I'm not a pickle fan, but these are good. So this is going to be dinner for the foodies. But tonight we are going to be catering to our vegetarian couple friends. We try to eat vegetarian every once in a while. I discovered this recipe when we were heavily trying to turn vegetarian. Everybody in my family loved it, including the kids. So this is a repeat recipe that we do pretty often. We try to fit this in at least once a month if we can. So I will tell you guys, this is some stuffed pepper nachos is what we call them. So I have my sweet peppers. They're going to be cut in half and then they're going to be put in the air fryer. Normally I roast them, but I figured let me try them in the air fryer and see if that roasts them a little bit better and quicker. Just until they get soft enough to where they're bite through for the kids, but has enough crunch for the adults. Kind of like chips. Then we're going to cook up some quinoa, and they're going to top the nachos. Forgot to grab a can of black beans. I use black beans. You can use any beans that you want to use. And then we have our toppings. So I have some cheese, some shredded cheese, and some queso and some sour cream, so that would obviously be for the vegetarians. If you want to turn this vegan, you can 100%. So you would just omit the sour cream and the cheeses, or you would use the vegan version that they sell in the stores. I'm going to make some avocados to top it off with. I have some cherry tomatoes that are going bad, so I figured I'd just throw them on there, cut up, and I'm going to saute some onions and mushrooms to put on top as well. So kind of like channeling like a Chipotle bowl feel, but then nachos. This is also great for game nights. So if anybody has a husband who is big into game night, this is a great recipe to use for that as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these cut and washed and show you guys how it goes. Okay everybody, so my peppers are fully cooked in the air fryer. It took about 25 minutes to get them about how we like them. So they're soft enough, but they're crunchy enough. Now all I do is top this with some quinoa and some black beans and then some of the cheese. And then I will put it in the oven. My nachos are ready to go in the oven to broil, so I will just explain. I have the peppers on the bottom. I forgot to mention in the beginning that you can also use regular bell peppers for these if you don't like or don't have the sweet peppers, they work just as fine. Then I have the quinoa. Again, that's optional. If you don't eat quinoa, that's perfectly understandable. We just like the quinoa, so you guys can use rice, or if you're going super low carb, you can use the rice cauliflower. Then I have black beans. Again, as I said in the beginning, you can use any beans you want. I have the queso cheese, and then some cheddar cheese. This is like a leftover bag from the other night. We did something with this. I don't even remember. But the Taco Bell shredded cheddar. And I'm going to pop this in the broiler for about 10 to 15 minutes until the cheese just gets all hot and nice and melty. Okay, y'all, so my guacamole is made. So this was 2 avocados with half of a lemon and half of a jalapeno. I mashed it all together, added some salt and pepper to taste. So really great, easy guacamole. You can also add cilantro if you want. I didn't have cilantro. If I did, I would have definitely added it in. Adds a little bit of kick. You can also add some tomato just for some extra vegetables, like if you didn't want to put the tomatoes on top of the peppers, like if you have some picky kids, just chop some up in the guacamole, they may not even notice. So this is just waiting for the nachos to get out of the broiler. So my nachos are done in the broiler, so I'm just going to add some toppings. So today we're putting on some baby tomatoes, grape tomatoes, whatever you call them. I have some guacamole that I fresh made, and then some sour cream. If you want to add lettuce or olives or anything else, I also forgot to mention that in the nachos is the sauteed onions and mushrooms. But yeah, any vegetables, any fun little things that you want to add to it to make it your own, you know, that's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and top this, get it on a plate, and show you guys how it looks. Okay, everybody, so this is plating really funky today. Yeah, it's not... It doesn't look the cutest, but let me tell you, if you guys just take this, like, to yourselves and grab a fork and just go in, who really cares? So, that's usually what I do anyways. I usually get, like, little individual trays for everybody so that we're not fighting over one dish. But since this is, like, a date night theme, this is just you and your partner. Listen, the kids aren't around. Eat out of the pan, okay? Forget manners. Just get the job done. But anyways, so this is the finished product. This is amazing. This is tried and true in my house. We love this recipe all the way down to the kids even love it. They have no complaints that there's no meat. And so this is usually our go-to when we want vegetarian night. So this is going to be dinner for the vegetarian couples. Hello everybody, so tonight dinner we are going to be doing the theme of the beachy couple, not to be confused with the bitchy couple. I feel like we definitely love the beach. My husband for sure loves Red Lobster. I particularly just love their biscuits. I can't eat much there. So tonight we're going to be doing that theme. So this is kind of like Red Lobster inspired. So I'm going to be doing a salmon. It's just our honey garlic butter salmon. I have a previous video for that. I will link it for you guys, but I will slightly go through it on this video. I'm going to be doing some lemon butter shrimp. Forgot to grab the lemon out of the fridge, but yes. Obviously making some cheddar bay biscuits. And then I'm going to be doing a broccoli casserole. We usually do this from the top of our heads, but I can find a recipe and link it in the description box for anybody who needs like exact measurements. Totally understandable. So the only thing that's not shown here that I will need is some flour. I didn't feel like grabbing the whole bag of flour just for like a couple tablespoons. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting this put together. The first thing I'm going to do is get my salmon in some cold water just to kind of rinse it and to defrost it just a tad bit more, because these did come out of the freezer. They're just a little bit hard. Then I'm going to start on my broccoli casserole so that can get in the oven while I'm cooking the salmon and the shrimp And then I will mix the biscuits and do those last because we like these very, very hot. So let's get started. Okay everybody, so now that my broccoli is all mixed together, I'm just going to go ahead and put this in this baking dish. This is an 8x8. You can also do a 9x13. I just don't feel like doing that many dishes since it's only me and my husband. And you just lightly grease this with some cooking spray or some butter. And then you bake this on, I believe, 450 for 15 minutes. I will put it correctly for you guys. Not sure, but yes, I'm going to go ahead and bake this. I have my salmon all seasoned, so basically what I do is I put some, first, I drizzle some olive oil on both sides of the fish. Then I season it with some onion powder, some garlic powder, some complete seasoning, some seasoned salt, and then we use some of this magic seasoning blend, the black and red fish. You can also use Old Bay, but I'm out. I normally would use Old Bay. But you can also use a seasoning similar to that. And then you just put a little bit of flour on either side. And then I'm just going to cook it up in a little bit of olive oil and butter until both sides are cooked. Now the reason we do the flour and all the seasonings is because I don't personally like fish. So this kind of helps to mask whatever fishy flavor might be left over. Salmon is not really that fishy to begin with. So it's not like tilapia or something similar to that. So this just kind of helps keep down the fishy flavor enough that I can also enjoy it too. And if you guys don't really want all the flour, you can totally omit the flour and just cook up the salmon as is with just the oil and the seasonings. So there's that. I have my salmon on, so this is in a mixture of olive oil and butter that I just let melt down. And I'm just going to cook it on medium heat until the first side is done. I'm going to flip it over and get the second side done. I will clock it for you guys and tell you exactly how much time per side it took for me. But this is partially frozen still, so I definitely will let you guys know. While my salmon is cooking, I'm just getting my shrimp ready, so I just rinsed it off. I also seasoned it with half of a lemon and the same seasonings I used for the salmon, just because you don't want such a huge contrast in the flavors. And most of this seasoning will mellow out into the shrimp and into the butter that it's cooking in when I do cook it. Okay guys, so I just flipped my fish. Honestly, I could have used a lot less olive oil and butter, but it's okay. It's going to be covered in sauce anyways, and we're going to enjoy it. But it took about, let's see, it was one Usher song, one Chris Brown song, and about a half a Fall Out Boy song. So I want to say somewhere around 9-10 minutes on the first side. So I'll update you guys on the second side. I did drain out some of that olive oil and butter. Hopefully the second side cooks a lot better. Okay everybody, so as you saw, that's how I topped my broccoli casserole. It was about halfway done cooking, so I'm going to go ahead and put it back in the oven and let it finish up until the broccoli is all the way cooked, and this should turn golden brown right when the broccoli is all the way cooked. My salmon is done. It took one JoJo song, one Nelly song, and a half a Fall Out Boy song to finish the other side, so again about maybe 9-10 minutes. Yes, I real life measure time in songs because I play mad music when I'm cooking. I'm so sorry for the way this looks, y'all. I'm not the best at fish specifically. My husband is way better, so if you want to see him actually make this way better looking, it's gonna taste the same, I know it is, but it's just better looking when he does it for whatever reason. Again, I will link that video for y'all. Please don't think this is just how we eat. This is not how it's supposed to look. I did it wrong. Watch the other video. Believe me, it's better. Let me update you guys on the shrimp as well. So let's go over there and look at that. Okay, so I have my shrimp on. This is cooking in about a half a stick of butter and a half of a lemon juice squeezed. And that's literally it. That's all it's cooking in. It's kind of just stewing down, kind of sauteing, whatever you call it. And yeah, honestly, I probably should have did a bigger pan. But again, I do the dishes right now. And not trying to do all that extraness. So, yeah, that's how it's looking. I have my sauce going. This is just a mixture of half a stick of butter, 2 tablespoons of garlic, and then I think this is close to about 1/4 of a cup of honey. So this has been cooking down for a couple of minutes, and I'm just going to drop my salmon in here and let it kind of just coat the salmon and cook up with the salmon. This is dinner, so we have the broccoli casserole, some shrimp, obviously this is my husband's plate, not mine, and then the salmon. I just poured a little bit of that sauce over the top. The biscuits are just finishing up in the oven, but y'all get the point. This is going to be dinner for the beach theme. Tonight we are going to be doing the traditional couple or the country type of couple. Basically, anybody who thinks that romance is steak and potatoes, that does qualify me. That's okay if it qualifies you too. We're totally in the same boat. So tonight I'm going to be making up some steaks. So I have these grass-fed ribeyes that I got from Aldi's. Again, with all my recipes, you can use really any meat that you prefer. We just choose grass-fed because we're fortunate enough to be able to afford that, and so we like to do that. We just prefer the taste of it. So I'm going to season this. I have some steak seasoning, and then I have some minced garlic, some reduced sodium soy sauce, and then some of this. Y'all know by now I don't know how to say that, but it tastes good on the steak. So I'm going to get these rinsed and washed and everything, and season it up. I'll show you guys how I do that. I'm going to be making a loaded baked potato casserole. This is a family recipe. My husband came up with it when I met him, and so it's just something that we like to have every once in a while rather than just having like a basic baked potato. It's a really easy thing to make, to be honest, and it's just delicious. So I have all this stuff for that. So you need potatoes, some bacon. You can use regular bacon. We just prefer turkey. You're going to need some onions, some Mexican blend cheese, some Colby Jack cheese, and then cheddar cheese, some sour cream, and some mayo to go all up in that with some seasonings. And then I'm just going to roast some Brussels sprouts. I have this bag sitting in the freezer. It's from Trader Joe's. I usually grab Brussels sprouts when I'm there because they're like $1 for this bag. And compared to every other grocery store near me, it's a good deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get this started and show you guys how it's looking. So my steaks are seasoned. I want to say I used about a teaspoon of each of the wet seasonings, and then I just put the steak seasoning in until it looked right, you know? Just put enough that you feel, because my taste buds are very different from your taste buds. Yours are different from mine. So whatever you personally feel like as you're seasoning it, take it slow and do it like piece by piece. If it looks like it's not enough, just put a little bit more until you personally feel like it's enough. So I have my bacon in the oven. For the potatoes, I chopped up little bit less than half that onion because it was so big. You can totally omit the onion if you're not into onion. It's just for us personally, we like onion, so we try to put it in like everything. And then I have my potatoes boiling. I'm gonna chop them up when they're done, as well as the bacon. So I have my potatoes chopped up. Ruger, come on! I have my potatoes chopped up, my onion, and my bacon chopped up into here. I'm going to show you how to mix it and get the casserole going. This is all put together. I'm going to bake this on 450 until the cheese starts to bubble up. The potatoes are fully cooked, so that's great. You can also saute the onions, or as I said, leave the onions out if you don't want them. The bacon's fully cooked, so literally it's just about cooking that cheese and melting that mayo and sour cream into the potatoes and all that type of stuff. So I'll give you guys a time estimate on how long we baked ours, and you can either go from there or just watch it on your own if you're going to do this recipe. It's a really good recipe. I highly suggest it if you love baked potatoes. This is just a great way to get baked potatoes without just boring, plain old baked potatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on, and I'm going to start my steaks. So this is how dinner is. So we have a steak. I roasted the Brussels sprouts in some olive oil, some salt, pepper, and complete seasoning, and then we have our baked potato casserole. So this is really delicious. This is really simple. It's not too many steps, and it's just such a perfect comfort food for nice little romantic holidays and cold nights. Okay everybody, so I hope you really enjoyed this video. I hope somebody found something useful. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, and if you are not already subscribed, I would love it if you would stick around and subscribe. Check out all my other content. I have plenty of other meal ideas, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye everybody.